Hello again. This demonstration is to go over the random number generator, the for loop, and the if-else conditional statement. So here we go. So first, before you can use the random number generator, you have to import that capability. So import random. Okay, that's all you need. That little green squiggly line just means you haven't used it yet. So if I hover over it, it says random imported not or but unused. So we're going to be using it in just a second. So we imported it. So we're going to, let's just start off by creating a number using the random number generator. So num equals random dot rand int. Notice you have rand int, and then you have random, but this or rand range. So we want it specifically an integer, but we want it in a range as well. So we put it inside of a range. So we put 1, 10, for example, and notice it says random integer in range a, b, including both endpoints, which means it's going to produce a random number between 1 through 10, inclusive of the number 1 and the number 10. So this will give us a number from 1 to 10. Okay, so let's take a look. Print num. Hit the run button, and we got a 7. Run it again. We got a 3. Run it again. We got a 4 again. There's a 10. So we notice that 10 is included because there's the proof of it. 8, 5, 8. Anyways, you get the idea. So I want to put this inside of a for loop so we can see them happen all at the same time. For I in range, and we're going to put inside the range, we're putting in 1, 11, and we have to have a colon at the end of it. Now the for loop's a little bit different than the this parentheses in here. We have a 1, 10, and they're both included. Don't worry about this one. Well, let's go ahead and indent it now. Just highlight it, hit the tab key, so that way get rid of that red squiggly. So this parentheses in here, remember it says including both endpoints, but for the for loop it does not include. So it says here from start inclusive to the stop, which is exclusive. We can put in a we can put in a step in there, but we're not going to. So this means 1 through 10 because the 11 is exclusive. Can't be a number 11. So we'll go through 10 times. Now you can, if you just put in a 10 in here, the reason why I'm putting a 1 here is because I want it to start with a number 1. If I just put in 10, it will go through it 10 times, 0 through 9. But I don't want the number 0 to pop up, so that's why I put a 1, comma, and then we'll do 11. We'll see how that prints out in just a second. So right now, this should just print 10 random numbers. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sure enough, 10. And there it is. There's a 1 there, and there's a 10 there. So we know the 10's inclusive, the 1's inclusive. So this does generate numbers from 1 to 10. But I don't want to clean this up a little bit, so I'll make it look a little bit different. So I'm just going to say I want to print this number first. So it says 1 equals, 2 equals, 3 equals, 4 equals. But again, this is an integer, so we learned from the other demo, if you watch that first, that you can't print, you can't concatenate or put together integers with strings. So we need to turn the integer to a string. So I'm going to do str for string. I'm going to put I inside the parentheses. The plus symbol is the concatenation. And in here I just want to put quotes, space, equals, space, quote. So I want to put basically I want to put a quote after this number, but I want to have a space around it. And then the num is also an integer, so I need to change that to a string. So that has to be inside of parentheses, and then the print state, everything has to be inside parentheses for the print statement. So I don't know if you notice when you highlight a parenthesis, the one that's paired up with highlights as well. So those two are paired. These two are paired. Those are paired, so you can see how that works. So let's take a look, see how that looks. Okay, 1 equals 7, 2 equals 6, 3 equals 4, all the way down to 10 equals 4. That's nice. But I want to do something a little bit different this time, though. Before I just want to print these. If it's a 7, I want to say winner number 7. And if it's not a 7, I want to just display the way it is right now. So after the number is picked, I'm going to put a conditional statement in here. That's an if statement. Conditional statement means we want an if statement. If num equals 7, colon, we want to print winner number 7. All right, all that's in quotes. And if it's not, so else, so come back here, equal with the if indent, else, colon, and that's when we want to print the other printout. So we'll tab that in underneath the else. So now we have these are inside the for loop, see how they're indented, and then this has to be indented to identify it as what's going to happen if this is true, and then this has to be indented right below the else, so identify if that's not true. If it's false, then it's going to do this instead. So let's run it and see what we get. Well, look at that. We got 3 7s that time. So 1 is a 6, 2 is a 1, 3 is 8. This 5 is a 2. Then this is would have been number 6. It says winner number 7. Number 7 actually is 4. Then 8 and 9 are both number 7s. And then the last roll, the 10th roll, is a 6. So that just kind of is a quick overview of a conditional statement, if statement, with an else statement. Remember, if this is true, it does what's indented below it. Else, which means that's not true up here, it does this. Okay, and then the for loop, you could use any variable here. It could be an I, it could be an X, it could be an A, it could be anything you want to call it. It could be, we'll just use it as an I. For I in range, and then 1, 11 means start with a 1, we're counting up to 10. It's still going to go through the loop 10 times, but we're going to produce numbers 1 through 10, and we can use those elsewhere in our loop, which we did down here. So we use the number I, which is going to be 1 through 10 down here, and we concatenated the equal sign with spaces on either side, and then we concatenated the number as a string. So that's the end for this video. Happy programming.